Welcome viewers, this time the at Papua NEWS69 channel is reporting on the attitude of support and urging from the Republic of the Marshall Islands. They urge that the UN Human Rights Council to investigate the condition of human rights in Papua, which is getting worse within the unitary state of the Republic of Indonesia. This is content which is informative, educational and realistic about human rights violations in the land of Papua, has recently been urged by the President of the Marshall Islands David Kabua directly to the Board of Commissioners for Human Rights in front of the UN Forum. The following is a complete statement regarding the support and encouragement from Marshall Islands Republic to investigate human rights conditions in Papua. Prime Minister of the Marshall Islands Republic David Kabua in a statement on March 10, 2023 expressed support for the UN Human Rights Council to investigate human rights conditions in Papua Province of Indonesia. In his statement, Kabua stated concern, expressed his appreciation for the deteriorating situation in Papua and expressed his hope that urgent action could be taken to guarantee human rights in the area. Kabua also highlighted the need for freedom of expression and the right to peaceful association in Papua. He also asked the Indonesian government to provide access for international human rights organizations and the media to carry out independent monitoring and reporting on the situation in the land of Papua. The insistence of the Republic of the Marshall Islands on the Council. This UN human rights statement was also conveyed in an official statement published by the Marshall and Island Journal newspapers on the same day. The statement explained that the situation in Papua had worsened with reports of violence by Indonesian security forces against civilians, arrests and the persecution of human rights activists and journalists, and restrictions on access to the internet and social media in the land of Papua. The statement also highlighted that the Republic of the Marshall Islands is not the only country in the Pacific that condemns and urges acts of violence and violations human rights in Papua. Previously, countries such as Vanuatu, Tonga, Solomon Island and Palau have also voiced their concern and support for the situation in the land of Papua. The official statement also explained that the insistence of the Republic of the Marshall Islands was in line with demands from various organizations, international human rights including International Amnesty and Human Rights Watch, which has called for an independent investigation of human rights violations in Papua. With the support and insistence of the Republic of the Marshall Islands, it is hoped that the UN Human Rights Council can take action to ensure human rights in Papua respected and protected, and to fight for freedom of expression as well as the right to peacefully associate in the land of Papua and in all corners of the world. In support and insistence from the Republic of the Marshall Islands urges the UN Human Rights Council to investigate the human rights conditions in Papua, which is getting worse in the unitary state of the Republic of Indonesia. As well as the attitude of support and hope for the independence of West Papua, it is stated that the Republic of Marshall Islands RKM is very concerned about the condition of human rights in the Indonesian provinces of Papua and West Papua. We condemn acts of violence and violations of human rights that continue to occur in these areas. We recognize the right every nation to determine its own destiny, including the nation of West Papua. RKM urges the UN Human Rights Council to investigate the deteriorating human rights conditions in Papua and requests the Indonesian government to take immediate and effective action to respect and protect human rights in the land of Papua. We also urge Indonesia to provide better access for international human rights institutions and humanitarian organizations to monitor the human rights situation in Papua. As a Pacific country, we always support independence and the right of every nation to self-determination. We succeed, hoping that West Papua will soon achieve its independence and become an independent and sovereign country. The Republic of the Marshall Islands per kilometer has joined international calls to urge the UN Human Rights Council to investigate the deteriorating human rights conditions in Indonesia's Papua and West Papua provinces. In a statement, RKM condemned acts of violence and violations of human rights that occurred in the region due to the increasingly urgent nature of humanity and the right to expression. It also argued that the condition of human rights in Papua and West Papua has become the concern of the international community over the past few decades. Human rights groups have reported acts of violence and human rights violations by Indonesian security forces and the military against civilians, including acts of enforced disappearance, torture and killings. In response to these conditions, RKM urged the UN Human Rights Council to investigate the human rights situation in Papua and request the Indonesian government to take its actions immediately and effectively to protect human rights in the region. RKM also requests Indonesia to provide better access for international human rights institutions and humanitarian organizations to monitor the human rights situation in Papua. RKM expressed its support for the right of every nation to determine its own destiny, including the nation of West Papua. As a Pacific country, RKM has always supported the independence of the nation of West Papua. RKM stated that we recognize West Papua's right to independence and hope that Papua can achieve its independence peacefully and democratically. We encourage all parties to find a peaceful solution and respect human rights and human dignity. We also hope that the Indonesian government will involve the Papuan people in discussion and decision-making regarding the future of Papua and ensuring that the basic rights of the Papuan people are properly recognized and protected. The Republic of the Marshall Islands views that every country has the responsibility to protect human rights in its territory, that the international community must work together to ensure that human rights in Papua are recognized and respected. We are ready to cooperate with all parties who are committed to finding a peaceful and democratic solution for Papua and ensuring the protection of human rights throughout the world. As a country that has a long history of fighting for independence, closeness and human rights, we feel compelled to support efforts aimed at protecting human rights in Papua and ending the conflict that has been going on for decades. We believe that the UN Human Rights Council has a very important role in ensuring the protection of human rights people around the world, including in Papua. We also want to express our support for the struggle of the Papuan people in fighting for their right to independence and self-determination. We respect their aspirations to have an independent and sovereign country in the land of Papua. We hope that the conflict in Papua can be ended in a peaceful and sustainable way and that the people of Papua can enjoy their rights without discrimination and oppression.